Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Indie Critical Podcast. This is episode 56. One of your hosts, Xander Scullion, and joined with me is Mr. Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
Just another morning. I think we're both in matching Bit Brigade t-shirts that we've seen in places.
Woo-woo.
Yeah. I definitely saw them. I think it was at Replay FX in Pennsylvania that I saw them. As a pinball tournament, but they had Bit Brigade playing there.
Yeah, what an incredible band. I love the fact that you got some guy on a projector screen playing the game as they're playing the music. You have to be a tight band anyway to play music in general, but tight in the sense that you're perfectly synchronized with someone playing a video game. That takes a lot of skill. Great band. I loved them.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, no, they're one of my favorites. I haven't seen what they've done recently, so I got to do a little bit of research because I bet that they're still doing cool shit. And their DVDs were always the fun ones to find, online or whatever. It's then you get to watch the game being played as they play, which is fun as shit. Heavy metal, man, it's fucking great.
And you know what else is great?
What else is great, Xander?
Kyle's Trials, because it's not an Indie Credibles without seeing what Kyle has to show us this week. What's going on with that?
So, I got a twofer. I got one non-gamey thing, but I always want to try to bring something video game since it's a video game podcast. So this is what I actually pulled out randomly. Scarface t-shirt. Yeah. So
it's one of my favorite movies.
So, and back in the day, because before Kyle moved out of his parents' house, still in high school and all that, he had a giant Scarface poster over his bed, with laying in the freaking in the actual jacuzzi. That's what he had above his bed. So the fact that I pulled this out of the random Kyle box, we have boxes and boxes of t-shirts, metal, horror, pop culture. So it's insane how many we have. But that was the first one that I just pulled one out. But gamey this is the mind of Kyle here for you, Xander. Check this out. Just random ass shit that we would find. It's like a little suitcase looking thing. And when you open it up, because I think I prepped it so that way it opens the latches, because there's latches here that have to open.
Yeah.
And this is the classic 80s. Filled with Atari games. This is a VA. Nah. I assume this is cassette tapes or something. So if you just look on the top, the classics here, you have stuff like random ones though. Fast Eddie. You ever hear of Fast Eddie?
I've never heard of Fast Eddie. That's crazy.
Yeah, and this says Byrnes, so this must have been a whole collection from a dude Byrnes, not Burns, Byrns. And then another one above it is Deadly Duck. This is the random brain of Kyle. Of course, there is other things here. These were released by Fox, 20th Century Fox, which is wild. But then there's the classic Plaque Attacks and one of my favorites down here, Pitfall. Gotta love Pitfall. This is definitely a cassette tape holder because once you go down in it, and below the actual layers of Atari games, there's actually the little slots for the cassette tapes in here. I don't want it to spill out all over my lap here as I'm sitting. But yeah, this is the mind of Kyle. There are so many of these little treats of just big things sitting here that we just open it up and it's fucking Zelda, like you said, the do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
For real. And of course, DK is still with us. He fell off last week, but this week he's back.
I'll say
so I push him off or move too much.
Well, he's holding on tight for this episode because we had
I'm excited. I know this.
Console gaming just got steamy, folks. That's all I could think of is just got steamy because Steam just came out of nowhere and was like, hey, we have a Steam machine, we have a controller that works with the Steam machine, and we have a VR headset. And this is going to be coming out in early 2026?
They say Q1. And so, we're talking the Steam machine, a new Steam controller that looks like the Steam Deck controller with the trackpads, and the Steam Frame VR headset. My main thing, though, it's cool, but if each item is over $1,000, that makes it super challenging. Yeah, it makes it super challenging. So we'll see. There are people who want it to be about $600 for the Steam Machine with a controller. I'm assuming the controller is going to be $100.
Controllers are expensive.
They're like $80. They're 80, right? Like that's how much a controller is.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume that it'll probably now. Here's the thing: there's two different tiers of the Steam Machine, and just so we can give context, the Steam Machine will be 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, and it has I think it's only 8 gigabytes of VRAM, which will be shared amongst the console, which 16 is the standard now because I have to look for a gaming PC for my daughter. And 16 is about what we want. However, what they mention at Valve is that that it will be optimized just like Steam Deck. So everything that is optimized on Steam Deck and runs a little bit better than it would natively on something else. So the machine being 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck on a PC supposedly natively does 4K.
Yeah, it's 60 frames. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it says. That's what they're saying. And that does mean, because Valve has been great about supporting their hardware recently. I say recently because there used to be Steam machines back in the day.
Yeah, that didn't do too much.
I have one.
Yeah?
I have one. And the crazy thing is when I went to Retropalooza, which was the flea market version, not the real convention, but the flea market one, 2 guys came by and we were chatting, and they were actually the creators of the original Steam machine, the little square one with the slit out of it that had like a little triangle slit.
Yeah.
I had is an Alienware one. And I owned it. And they were like, yeah, we were rushed out the door, all the stuff, but like obviously technology advanced, Xander. So
yeah,
I'm not I'm not worried that the Steam machine will not perform. I'm just worried about the price point.
Yeah, that's my thing, because when the Steam box or the Steam whatever, when it first came, I remember that it was around like 2012, 2013 or so when that was coming out, but it was such a niche thing because at that time, like console gaming and PC gaming were still very different. But now it's like we're seeing a lot of it really coincide each other. And ultimately, I think, if we were going to talk about any sort of console war, I think whatever the console winner would be at this point, it's not so much the horsepower, but affordability and accessibility. And
so what would you be comfortable paying, Xander?
Oh, I mean, I would definitely pay like around like I'd say at most like 500. And
500.
And the only reason why I say that is because I bought a mini PC for less than, like 400 and some change, and I haven't had any issues playing any of the games that we talk about on this podcast. And that was the main reason why I got the mini PC, was to dive into some, PC games. So yeah, I mean, and plus the Steam Deck's still very much supported. And I mean, I wonder if there's going to be a price drop on the Steam Deck when the Steam machine comes out. At that point.
Probably. And they have the 2 iterations of the Steam Deck, the regular and then the OLED, which is pretty expensive. And those are about $800, $900. They claimed that it's going to be priced accordingly with PCs and not with consoles. So that's one thing to raise, a red flag alarm. Now you say 500. Let's say you would be comfortable with 6. Here's my assessment. There's 2 different versions of the Steam machine. There's like a lower spec and then the 2 gigabyte higher spec for storage. I think it's like 512 and 2 terabytes.
Yeah.
I would assume that the 512 will probably be around that, hopefully that sweet spot of $600, $700. And then you have $800, $900 for the 2 terabyte. Hopefully with the damn controller. I don't think either will come with the damn controller, though. I feel like, because they're saying that this is a PC.
Yeah. And they did say, though, that the machine will be compatible with Windows products as well. So if you don't get for some reason they released it without a controller, you could use your 8-bit DOE on it with no problem. So that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll 100%. If it doesn't come with one and it's in the sweet spot that I will purchase it, I will just wait for the controller till I can afford it because I'm going to have to like save up for shit. And so that's all interesting. And I'm down because I would love to have an indie games box. That's actually what Patreon Jesse Glenn was saying. It's like, oh, dude, we could do a indie games freaking Steam box. It'd be ridiculous. But it would still be able to do all the modern shit, too. So it's like, man, you could curate some really cool shit. And if it's more powerful than my Legion Go is turned into a desktop, essentially. It would actually replace my Legion Go, open that up for me to do portable gaming and not have to do my streaming from it upstairs on my phone that I've been doing, which has been great, mind you. But like using the actual native hardware would be better.
Yeah.
And I like my Legion Go. It's just that I work on projects and stuff like on Adobe. And so as long as the Steam machine supports Adobe pretty freaking solidly without any compromise, I'm good.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't want to be one of those kind of folks that, when the Steam Deck came out, like, oh, it's going to be a console killer, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like there's some really good possibility for growth. And I'm like, when I saw the Steam machine, all I could think of is like, this is great for our show. This is great because every week we're talking about games. We talk about budgets. We talk about, new and noteworthy. We talk about homebrews, all this stuff. And, for those that are on the fence about the Steam box, if you want some affordability, you could get something like a mini PC like I got for like $350. And, you're not going to be able to do AAA stuff on it, but the games that we talk about, yeah, it's going to be no issue with that. So I'm really curious, man, because console games have gotten so expensive. Like it really has.
Well, and that's the interesting thing is, you can't really talk console killer quite yet because physical media still exists.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing where our generation is still clinging on to the physical aspect. And the Steam machine obviously doesn't have one. As I say, once I'm retired from the army, hold my beer. I have ideas. I just don't have the time. But hold my beer. And if the Steam machine's compatible, Steam machine might be my conduit. But don't have the time right now, but it's like we're too soon to fully give up our physical switch to cartridge collections.
Oh yeah,
that's the one thing. I mean, we're even talking on the podcast about you starting up some slow Sega Genesis collecting. You know what I mean? And so makes sense. And the other pieces, though, that we have to think about is that not only do you have the Steam Machine and controller, you also have the Steam Frame VR headset, which to me is also a standalone thing that you can install natively, but also stream across any device you have. So I've heard rumors that it's going to be priced accordingly to some of the other VR stuff that Steam has done in the past, which I'm unfamiliar with, but we're talking about $800,000-$900,000 for a Steam Frame VR. VR for me, I just got the LASIK a few weeks ago, so I don't know. It might be great, but I heard from people it's amazing for watching movies.
Okay.
Like fully immersive. You get giant like screens for watching movies and stuff. That's why I was really interested in the damn Apple thing that they did, the giant goggle thing. They were just too expensive, so I never even thought about doing it. But the Steam Frame might be perfect for 2D gaming.
Yeah,
like fully immersive, playing indie games with a giant ass screen on your head, and it's a personal experience because you wouldn't be able to enjoy it with the family. But that's the thing, though, is that a lot of the times, like I've been married 15 years, so the wife and I, she'll be watching true crime and I'll be playing video games. So it's not like so far removed. But the only problem with VR for me with that in mind is that I would be like focused.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I had to turn transparency on in the AirPods because I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have never done VR. Like, I still have never done it before. And I mean, like, I think it's cool, but man, you know what else I think it's cool? Hear what you've been playing this week.
Yeah. Like, there's still other stuff in the thing.
Oh, yes, yes.
But it's, to me, VR is a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's still it. Prove me wrong, but when you play all these games, you hear about the coolest VR stuff. It still seems like it's a gimmick mini game, still like in the arcades, basically. High score shit, not fully immersive. There are games that have tried, I think, but I haven't heard anybody like talking about it because how does gaming go, Xander? I saw your numbers. How does gaming go, Xander? It goes, we talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza and it's gone, even though it's like Game of the Year contender. Like, nobody fucking talks about it.
Yeah.
So if people have covered the VR stuff, it's so, the gaming community at large is so like hit and go that like I haven't gotten anything that has convinced me to take the plunge. Yeah, fucking crazy. And speaking of crazy, Xander, there we go. Before we get to that, we didn't play the indie game night, by the way. There was something that caused a little scope creep, and it was crazy. And I found a website. It's called Infinite Backlog.
Oh yeah,
and I found this through happenstance because I was looking for different programs I was looking for programs to catalog my gaming collection, and I found this website.
Mm-hmm.
And because like there's always a way to catalog. I've been using spreadsheets, but it's very, very intensive to the point where you have to remember to keep on going, and I always forget, and then I'm always like way behind the power curve. Well, the Infinite Backlog website allows you to track your entire collection, Xander, and it allows you to shows you how much you've played. And why I say it shows you, because you can tie your PC, Xbox Game Pass, your PlayStation, and your Steam, and your GOG all into it automatically, and it imports them. And it tracks all of your trophies. The only thing it doesn't automatically import is Nintendo account. So you have to do the Nintendo account manually until they create the thing. Because it's created by like a person, basically. So it's like there's a whole community aspect with on the main page, it has like little forum posts or like updates from the community. There's a Discord with it. If you do the Patreon, you can get extra access. I haven't done that. I just found out about the website, so I gotta make sure I'm gonna use it before I start supporting like you with your different music that you do with your Winamp stuff later. But like it's just like you got to use it enough to do like a monthly Patreon, because it doesn't give you physical items like what we do. It gives you tangible digital stuff, which requires use. But this Infinite Backlog website's really good. It has a really good user interface going on right now, so I can like kind of go over the features. So you create your own little profile. It does its own achievements and leveling and point system on the website. So the more you put in, the more you can like level up your profile. Mm-hmm. Which is weird. But it tracks your collection by console and by play status on every single game. So say you import your hundreds of Steam games, right? It'll go into the website and you got to go through and it'll like automatically parse it all. And then you can just like quickly check, I'm playing this one. I've played it and I unfinished it. I beat it. I completed it. It's a continual game like Vampire Survivors or something, an infinite game. If I consider I rolled credits on something, I consider I beat it. If I did everything in it, I consider I completed it. And I don't mean like got a platinum trophy. I mean, did everything that I wanted to do in it. It's completed.
Right.
So it does that for the collection, which is awesome. There's a journal, so you can like type up shit on games. There's reviews. You could post your own reviews.
Wow.
There's achievements. You could track your achievements. So I can see that my wife actually platinumed Disney Starlight Valley or whatever it's called. She platinumed it. And then you can create lists, which is what became interesting to me, Xander, because the lists, you create your own list with your own category. So I'm doing a Metroidvania all-encompassing book. I'm doing, in the future, I want to do like a Zelda-like book. Yeah. So what I'm doing is all the games that I own and have played, I'm tagging as Zelda-likes. And so while we were watching Porky's last night, we were watching the 1981 classic. I was sitting there going on lists online and just saying, what are the awesome Zelda-like action RPGs? And I'm just adding them to this list that I can parse later for research. Very easy. And of course, it shows your stats of your collection, like how many games that you've logged. So I have 1,400 games with all of the auto-imported shit.
Yeah.
Automatically. I've added only a couple games. I had like one turbo game, like just to see. Now, where it becomes cool too is that they have community challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So why the challenges are cool is like there's this one called Way of the Ninja, and you click on it, and it is beat all 4 retro Ninja Gaiden games, the 3 on the NES and Ragebound.
Wow.
It says it'll take about 8.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, I've played it for like a little bit.
Yeah.
It says it'll take around 18 hours to complete, so you have to beat the whole thing. And it gives you a timeline, and it gives you a reward if you beat it. And there's only a few people that have actually completed it, but there are people doing it in the community here.
That's fun.
And then it's cool. And then you can go to the challenges. There's other ones that say finish and play Hades 2 in the first 3 months of its release. So they release a new game, popular likely, and then you got 3 months to actually play and beat it. And I've actually beaten Hades 2 and Silksong, so I actually was able to track and see how those have done. It doesn't say complete to full. This is just this finish. And so I finished Hades 2 a couple times. I played it when it was in the early access.
Yeah.
And beat. And then Silksong I beat like a few weeks ago. So I was able to see how that works. And then they have these little fun ones like backlogs and blankets, like comfy games. And there's a little Gator game that I've been wanting to play. So I put myself into that chat.
Little Gator game is adorable. It is a cozy game. I have it on Switch, and it wasn't what I was expecting. Like I was expecting more of an adventure, but this is more kind of like Animal Crossing meets Zelda. That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, you'll have fun playing it for sure. That's good.
Well, and it's crazy I was like, it just told me I had new games ready to sync. Because it automatically does new games that are ready to sync as well. And so, yeah, I have over 2,000 achievements over my career on Xbox and PlayStation and Steam. So they combine them all with all these games, which is pretty freaking crazy. So I've done no reviews. I've created a couple lists. I actually created one list for our game that we're going to talk about for the community one, because like you can't like add a fan game, but I create a list for fan games. So that way, if we ever talk about them, it's like fan games. But like, so this website's infinitebacklog.net. Real fun, super addictive. Talking about create a backlog for yourself, Xander, for your backlog, because literally getting to this is going to be a backlog. Like,
I just make a backlog of demos. What I'll do. A list of demos before I get to the games, and I'll make a list of the demos of the games I want to play.
Yeah. Now, like, the fact that I have like 1,000 Switch physicals or something from over the years, which was insane to think about, and I don't have access to them, means that I'm not going to even start trying to add all that shit until I get my whole collection, which is years from now. So unless they add Nintendo syncing, which, the Nintendo website, did you know that Nintendo created a app recently?
Oh, yeah.
Is available in Japan, but it's called Nintendo Store. It's all it's called, Nintendo Store. And there's a section on there that shows how much you've played your Nintendo games, all the way back to Wii U and 3DS.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Like, that's just crazy. Yeah, so, like, literally the Nintendo Store, you click on your little thing, it says play activity at the bottom, and then it literally says most played and all this stuff. So I could see when my wife stole my Switch and played Animal Crossing for 400 hours. And that was the first couple months before she got her own Switch and then played for 1,000 hours.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, but yeah, it goes by. So like the last game I played on my Switch was Quack Jump, the indie game that we talked about. That was the last one. Like that in Donkey Kong Bonanza. But like, yeah, so it's Nintendo has done it, which means if Nintendo has done it, there's a parser that might work for the Infinite Backlog website to just parse, because you don't have to log into any of your stuff for this website. It just, you put in your username and then you link it to your account. So technically you can make a Shadow Governor account for somebody popular and just like create and like see what their shit is.
Yeah.
Obviously kills the spirit, but because I didn't have to log in on any of the stuff, unless it's because I'm auto logged in, it did it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting, Xander. But now we go to your.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're getting to the part where games we've been playing. Now, I think it'd be good to start because this is the only game I played this week. I've been busy selecting turkeys, but this
slinging turkeys.
This was our community game last week that we chose from the randomizer. It was a fan-made game called Super Mario and the Rainbow Stars. And, it was funny because when we talked about it last week, I didn't get a chance to see any of the footage because, randomizers like live. We just like, this is what we're playing. So I was going off what you were saying, like this is like Super Mario Brothers 5. And I've played so many like Mario fan-made games over the years that I was just thinking that this is going to be like a sprite swap, kind of like built off the engine of Super Mario World. No, this is like from the ground up, brand new Mario game. And one of the things they did say is they said that the art style was really influenced by Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and I was like, oh, okay, I get that. But it's not that they're not just using the sprites from those games; it's influence from those games. So I feel like all the sprites and everything in this game are pretty much original. I mean, they may have altered stuff here and there, but there's a lot of like actual work. Well, I don't want to say it like that because there's some really good fan made ROM hacks, but actual essence that gives it some unique ability.
Yeah, it's definitely among the better of the fan games that have been released because, like you said, like the community is amazing. There's so many Mario games out there. This one was recommended to me a while ago in Video Game Bullshit, and I never got to it in like the backlog of. And I don't think we quite randomized this one. I think I kind of just brought it to the table, and we were like, "Hey, let's randomly play this one." Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing. So obviously playing it on the phone with the controller through Steam Link doesn't work too well, actually. I don't know if the game is too intense or the way they programmed it for streaming, but it was like a little laggy, and it wasn't like input lag. It was more like it just got slow, like real slow. And I was able to like carve through shit still because the input was still spot on to what I was watching. It doesn't do that on my computer.
Yeah.
But like it does it on the Steam Link. And I thought that was weird. So I played a level like that. I'm like, all right, I can't play that anymore. Now, the one thing to keep in mind for Super Mario and the Rainbow Stars has a very bright atmosphere, like the first area, you're kind of beach. What I like is that the overworld is something out of a Super Mario 3D world where you're running around with the pixel graphics, and then you have the little dots that you can go to each level. The one criticism from me that makes it not feel like a Super Mario Brothers 5 game is the emphasis on the throwing of the star. So you have a control thing. You play through normal Mario controls, really awesome. And then you press a button and you press up or down to throw your star buddy. And there's over-reliance on that to the point where my pacing is slower than because normally I hold run and just like do fun shit and run through.
That's how I play.
Like would do in like we do in Mario Maker, like we in all the moderns. And so, I mean, I've done it in Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World. It makes it feel more akin to a Super Mario 2 USA version, because you have the gimmick of picking up all of the radishes and throwing them and stuff. So now you have the gimmick of throwing a star, which makes it very Super Mario.
Yeah.
Like, and it does feel like a Mario 5 because you have it, but the overlines and the gimmickry does kill the pacing a bit, Xander.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because when I was playing it very early on, I'm like, where's the power-ups? Like, I was getting all these mushrooms. I'm like, where's my fireball? You know, because I was ready to, like, burn some shit. And then when you beat that first, like, level or whatever, you get done with the first boss, that's when you're introduced to, like, the little star guy. And, yeah, I would find myself, like, in that Mario flow, and then I'd have to stop and, like, move my little star somewhere and do, like, something. I mean, it's not bad, but, like, it does kind of pull you out of the experience a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm over relying on it too, and maybe I just need to play it without it until I have to use it to open a lock or something. Because like there'll be like the little exclamation block, and you have to throw the star into it to progress.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of using it to kill all the enemies before I go through to make very.
Yeah, that could kind of do it.
And that slows the shit down. And I was just noticing I did at I played another level yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I'm really only playing like a level at a time because it's such a slog for me to get through the way I'm playing it. I could be playing it wrong, is what I'm saying. Like maybe it's just my brain is just like, kill everything because I'm OCD, and it's like maybe I just because you can still jump on stuff. It doesn't.
It's because you're reenacting the way we played a robot named Fight.
Yeah,
you were life in that orb, and it changed you, man. Now you're just like I'm changed.
Changed. Robot named Fight has ruined me. Now it's
speaking of changes. Because this was kind of like an Easter egg, in my opinion, for Kyle's Trials, because you opened up that box full of Atari games. And wait,
you skipped over something.
I did skip over something.
I love it. Xander Scramble survives. It'll never go away. Okay. So the next game that we're going to play for the community is one that really the community can't join us, except for Patreon Lunchbox, because he provided us a couple codes for a game called Mecha Nova to play, and we will give it a whirl. It's more tactical strategic, so that's not normally my ballywick, my style. But this game is unreleased. This is a demo, I think, but it's an unreleased demo, and there is no what do you call it with your hipster YouTube society? It's like no whatever that you can't talk about the game.
Oh yeah, embargo. Yeah,
embargo. Yeah, there's no embargo, is what he told me. So, and I mean, we have the game, so like we didn't talk to the developer, so we can say what we want. But yeah. So what we'll do is we'll play some Mecha Nova, give it a thought for next week. That'll be what we'll play for the community game to see if it's a badass thing. When we got the codes, it's all once you put it into Steam, it's all Japanese. So like it doesn't say Mecha Nova on it, but the art says Mecha Nova. So. Should be fun to check it out. Something new, being able to check it out. And thank you to Lunchbox for providing codes for the demo for us so we can try out the trials. Now we move to the Kyle's Trials, and I see what you were doing there.
Yeah. And I think it's because I got confused because I wasn't even thinking about like the randomizer for this randomizer, because I was really curious to hear your thoughts about this game, and it kind of tie in where we were talking about the Atari 2600, because this is a remake, a reimagining of Adventure from the Atari 2600, and it was a game that we've talked about numerous times because it came out around the exact same time as Hollow Knight.
The exact same day.
Yeah. Hollow Knight day. And that was the Adventure of Samsara. So...
Adventure of Samsara. And it was an interesting game to play. Of course, reimagined from the classic Atari game Adventure, and a full-on Metroidvania what I like about it is the vibe, Xander. I like the vibe of Adventure of Samsara. Like you show up, you're a knight, which it looks like something from like the Atari like pictures from when you would do like Sword Quest and stuff, like from the marketing advertisements from Atari back in the 80s. And but like you're playing as this knight, you get a sword and a shield, and it focuses more on like dodging enemies. So the combat in there is very unique because it's not like run through and kill everything first time. It's more like you'll get against the skull enemy and he'll like swipe at you. So what you have to do is you attack and then he'll swipe. So you just got to go through him and hit him from the back and swipe through. There is a parry with the shield, but it's timing based and I haven't been able to get it to deflect yet. And then there is, and this is where things get a little crazy because I'm playing it on Steam, is you have these different powers and abilities. So you get these powers where you can like explode and push enemies away. But there's also this like mechanic where it like turns fire and electricity, and it creates this orb around you, and then you can move the fire with the right stick and like burn a bunch of plants or hit an electric thing to move a ladder down or whatever. But whenever I do that, it lags every time. Dang. So every time I do it, it like slows everything down, and then the game catches up. Now I was playing it on Steam Link, so it could be the damn Steam Link that wasn't able to keep up with whatever graphics were happening. So I'm going to have to play it natively on my PC to see if that's what it was, and I'm betting that that's what it is. That's where my lag is coming in. But this is one that I want to get absolutely on Switch physically whenever Atari decides to release it. I'm sure that they might already have, and I just need to buy it. But it was cool as shit. It was fun. I like the vibe. There's a ton of little like Easter eggs and references to old school Atari. There's stuff in there that just reminds me of like Atari symbolism. And then you get to the spot where one of the NPCs is fighting a dragon, and it's literally a little S dragon, like from the actual adventure. Cool. But it's like modernized looking and badass. And like I want to, with removal of that lag, I will continue to play this game. And I just saved it at the next save point. You have these giant altars that you stab into that you do for saving. The saving is frequent enough to where it's pleasant. There are warp points. I've only gotten the one, but there are warp points so you can get back to the main hub. And there's obviously an NPC that sells you things to upgrade your abilities, Metroidvania-style, which is fucking cool. And so, to me, game is one of the tops because I'm old and I like my old school stuff. And it's kind of like how I would have envisioned playing Atari back in the day, like how I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like what I get from it. Like you said it perfectly earlier that it kind of resembles like the box art. Like if you were to play a game and the box art was the actual game, that's kind of the vibe. And the next one I saw in your notes, I watched some of the B-roll for this, and this is a really unique game called GIGASWORD.
Yeah, 100%. GIGASWORD. So interesting. Looks like it would be badass, right?
Yeah.
Looks like it's a Metroidvania. Technically it is, but it's like a puzzle game parading as a Metroidvania. Mm-hmm. And so it's very interesting. Now keep in mind, I'm super early in it. I was just playing it a little bit yesterday. But there's a big story about the people and the owl people, and then you're like, the Link style thing where you're the chosen one. But you go up there, you get your GIGASWORD, and so the battling is solid, like the attacks, because you have a giant ass sword. It does a lot of damage. You can do this jump attack where you stab into them, and it basically kills most enemies with one hit, which is very satisfying to do. And you go through and you fight like different like little bosses, and the bosses are satisfying to fight. I did get to a spot where I had a save point and I got really far and then died, and it starts you back at the save point with no progression. So I had to like redo. That's when I paused it. But when I realized it's a puzzle game masquerading, is as you're traversing through the biomes, the levels, what you have to do is certain actions that you do, certain things, like say you have a giant sword and you jump into water, you can't swim, you sink to the bottom and got to jump. So what you have to do is you have to put your sword down with the action button, move the sword with the little thing over to the side, and then swim across, jump up, and then grab your sword. So there's a lot of that throughout the levels. So it's like drop sword, move sword up so you can jump to grab the sword so you can continue to attack. And there's a lot of, every little screen has little puzzle things, and that slows down the action tremendously because every single section. So now when I had to go back probably 10, 15 minutes of puzzles that I had to do, now I got to do those all over again. And okay, I'm going to pause for now. So that's why I paused it. And the game is also very light on enemies in the areas. So as you're walking through, you see like a bad guy or two, versus like how Hollow Knight Silksong does it, where there's multiple throughout each section of the areas. The areas are also smaller. Each little screen section is smaller, probably because of the puzzles. It's very handcrafted. I'm not adverse to a puzzle platformer at all. But I was going in thinking this was going to be a badass looking, because it is badass looking Metroidvania.
Yeah. I really like the art style. I mean, the B-roll looks great, but also, but like when you say like there's a little bit more puzzle than action, like the action is what keeps me interested. Because I mean, I'm not a big puzzle person. Like I like puzzles, I like them; they're fun.
Yeah,
but I really like action, especially as I've gotten older and I just don't have as much time. I just want to beat the hell out of something. So, yeah, I kind of suck.
Anger, man. You're so angry.
Get the hell out of it.
Now, it would be interesting to know, and hopefully people don't like fire and forget and move on. It would be interesting to know if this game opens up later with more action, less puzzles. Maybe the puzzles are just happen, and then you get a traversal ability that negates the need for when you have to backtrack. Because this game definitely is heavy on backtracking. You can tell.
Yeah.
And so as long as it does a traversal ability sooner than later that allows me to mitigate having to go back and do those same damn puzzles again when I backtrack, I'll be fine. But if I have to like run through, all right, let me run all the way back, because that's kind of how it was. It's like grab the sword, go all the way around through up the stairs, up the ladders, and grab it and go all the way back down. Like it was just like every single one felt like that. That's what the game feels like, Xander. It's like chugging along.
Wow. Speaking of chugging along.
It's in the backlog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Chugging along.
Speaking of chugging along, because we're already running short on time. We got so much to freaking talk about, but so much little time right now.
All good.
Oh, yeah. So going into the new noteworthy, because the first game that's on the list, I actually played it and didn't realize it. I played it like a while ago. It was because I believe I played the demo for it. But Ball X Pit
or Ball Cross Pit.
Yeah,
the developers call it Ball Pit, but it's Ball Cross Pit.
It's a
Ball Pit.
It's an interesting. It's a really interesting game because think of it. It's a roguelike, and it's also like you were kind of mentioning almost like a pachinko sort of thing. It's not so much pachinko as much as it feels like watching Tetris mixed with Space Invaders.
Yeah.
And then because you had the different enemies coming towards you and you're kind of just twin stick shooting with them with your balls and stuff. And there's different balls that you customize and you mix, and because at the end of every run it almost becomes an ActRaiser in a life simulator because you're rebuilding the world. And as you rebuild the world, it gives you more material to make more different balls. Apparently, there's like over 80 different kinds of balls in this game. So
it's crazy. Like, and again, like gives you a lot of bang for your buck. It's considered also a roguelike bullet hell, which is interesting. And it just is fun as shit to play. We moved this. This is actually like probably a month later in the how we're going to talk about games, but we moved it earlier because this was a game that a lot of people have been addicted to right now. It's kind of been compared to like how Vampire Survivors,
I can
like
see it.
people addicted to it, and that and Balatro, and this game is also in that. So I'm going to talk about for the end of the year, so we can talk about Ball Pit, and I'm super not interested in doing all the different building at all.
That's that's what
like
kind of turned me off. Like when I got to that part, but gameplay is so good.
Yeah.
It is really, really fun.
Gameplay looks so. I mean, I played it a little bit when it first came out because it was on, I think, PC Game Pass, and I played it, and it was cool shit and addicting, and I love this type of game. Just my thing is that I just don't want to build things, and it is a $15 game. And the lowest price it's ever been is $15 because I got a new integration thing that we're going to talk about later. But Steam DB has an integration that goes onto the website that shows you now the lowest amount.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, so the lowest it's ever been. So now we can talk about the lowest price that it's ever recorded, which is that because it just came out a month ago, fully released. That's the demo that you played. But yeah, this game has gotten a lot of coverage, a lot of 5 out of 5s, some 8 out of 10s, which is fair. I think it's fun in short stints. I think I would have a lot more fun on my phone with the touchscreen on it, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Like if you could do like a little drag thing, that'd be fun.
Yeah, like a little drag piece, like a bullet hell, because it says it's a bullet hell.
Yeah.
It's only single player, so we can't like play 2-player, because us playing 2-player would be fucking chaos. It'd be amazing. That would be fun as shit. Yeah, so looks cool, but I'm kind of like I probably won't play it too much just because unless there's something I'm missing, people, let us know. Or what are we freaking missing here?
Oh yeah, because like I said, the building part probably just kind of throws me off. And this next game is a part of a trilogy. I was like, okay, but
It's down.
yeah, I've never heard of it before, but it looks really awesome. It's called like Liu Yin's World.
Yeah, Liu Yin, yeah. A 3D cyber fantasy action RPG with Metroidvania levels and multiple endings is what it says. I don't believe it's a Metroidvania, but it might be. Like it says it is in their description from the developers. Because to me, it looks like God of War or something. Like it looks crazy. Like, is this indie, Xander?
Yeah, it's got that very reminiscent of like, to me, like Final Fantasy 16 or something. Like just that real hack and slash, almost like Devil May Cry with that, elegance. It's a very elegant game. I feel like
And here's the answer to my question. Is it part of a trilogy? This game is the final installment in the Liu Yin trilogy, adopting a Chinese fantasy cyberpunk style.
Okay. Cool.
This is part of a trilogy, people, something that we've never even heard of before. The game is $19 on Steam, developed by King Na Game. And the lowest it's ever been was in September. It was $16. So they've done a 12% discount before. We're talking affordability, which I know Xander loves his affordability. Yeah. So clicking on the developer, just so we could see, there's the 9 treasures of Liu Yin, and then the redemption of Liu Yin.
Okay.
And so there are 3 games that are all here. I'm adding them all to the wish list. They're all $19, by the way. But some of them have new DLC with them. So they've been supporting them with DLC as well. And all these games were released since 2024, it looks like. 2024 and 2 in 2025. So every 6 months they've been releasing these games.
Have to check it out.
Looks cool.
I mean, it
looks cool.
It's
insane.
And this game also looked insane. It's in early access. Voyagers of Nira. This would be a really, really fun online game to play with all your friends. It looks like you do a lot of exploring. There's a nautical nautical kind of vibe to it, you know. So if you like pirate ships and sailing the seas, and I was like, all right.
Kind of reminds me of like Horizon Zero Dawn, but with online co-op, like little like fun. There's a bunch of people broadcasting it even right now, and there's like people like just playing little puzzles together, having fun, and they're all talking. Like it looks cool as shit.
It does.
Like, I mean, and it's by Treehouse Games. The release date was September of 2016, but they've last updated it in November. And it's a $30 game, but it's also been down to $24 when they like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So I don't see a Xander demo, but it is early access. So there may be a demo after early access is done. But they've been doing quality of life patches, is the patches that they've been doing for updates, and they're still adding features to the game as well. So it's kind of cool when developers release a stable build and then continue to release new stuff. It's pretty fun to be part of that from the ground up. The game looks insane, though. Again, you're talking no time scope creep. Like, this game is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so good, though.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think of like those games like I mentioned episodes ago, like Wobbly Life, like those games that you just play with your friends like after work, and like, you know, it's fun. But if you're like us and you have a show and you're trying to play some games or at least talk about some games, that game it's trouble.
You can like water surf without a surfboard. They have a surfboard too, but then you can water surf. Like there's like these videos, this B-roll that you're showing, it's like, this is insane. Yeah, it looks so freaking good, though. I am here for it. If we had infinite time, I would be playing it. The only worry for me is resource management. It looks like might exist, which means like chopping down trees to get wood to build a thing. Like, I hope that that's not over like abundance, and hopefully you can like choose to do it or not.
Yeah, that would be cool. And you know, we were talking about puzzles earlier. You know, and I'm like I said, I'm thinking about the puzzles, but I will say when I was capturing the B-roll to this is a little shout out to whoever did the music to this game, because that song was just slapping. Okay, but I'm
slapping.
It was slapping. But Lord of Amber Maze is a charming adventure set on a mysterious island where the world only moves when you do. Battle quirky enemies, solve clever puzzles, and bond with island dwellers as you save your little sister by uncovering the Dark Lord's terrible secret. It's like
I love when you add the Xander scramble too. It's Lord Amber Maze, not Lord of. If you look up Lord of Amber, the problem with Steam Xanders when we do that, there might be another game called Lord of Amber Maze. So we got to be careful.
Yeah, it may not be. It may not be a good game.
But this Lord Amber Maze looks fucking cool, like hand drawn.
It looks like it's sprite drawn art too, even though like it's super high resolution. Like when you zoom in, I think it's a little sprite based.
Yeah, it's got that like, you know, retro yet modern look like you would see in games like Monster Boy or something like that. Like, it looks fun.
Well, it's definitely pixelated. Now I see the zoomed in of the enemies as you go on the Steam page. 100%. It looks amazing. Like, dude, this game looks cool. The one thing that always throws me off, though, is that it's the grid-based piece that makes it feel like it's more of a strategic it has turn-based combat, but more of a, like, I don't like bouncing. I like free move. Yeah, but I've played games that were amazing, like that do have the grid-based gameplay. Like talking like Mega Man Battle Network is a really fun example of that. And then also, what's the one game that they did the Zelda IP with that was the musical-based one?
Oh yeah.
Cadence of Hyrule. That game does it well too. I love that stuff. So this one, like, because like every time you move, the enemies also move, and that's like that's what this game does. And as long as it's fun to play, Cadence of Hyrule has opened my brain to it. So I'm hoping that it's cool, because you know I'm always a run all the way around, so I'm fucking up all the strategy because I'm just like moving all around, and all the enemies are doing. They're all able to move 27 moves to my like one thing that I'm doing in my brain. The game is released by Pateta Company, and it is currently on sale for $12, normally $15.
Yeah, not bad. Definitely, I definitely want to check it out. Unfortunately, there's not a demo, so I can't.
No Xander demo.
No Xander demo. But next one, I will make sure I don't scramble this. Brews and Bastards. Yeah. I saw this and I'm like, this has got to be fun.
So it's an intoxicating dungeon crawler, overflowing with action-packed combat, but potent brews and outlandish bosses. So this is an action RPG with roguelike aesthetics, is what it says. Has a lot like arcadey feel to it, and it just looks over the top. Looks over the top, man.
Yeah, it's like top down. It looks great. It was released in September. Yeah, it was released in September 22nd this year. Looks like it was done by Moon Studios. This is about the only thing they did, though.
Really? So Brews and Bastards does have couch co-op. Those could be a streaming one. I'm adding to our streaming list. It looks cool as shit. The lowest it's ever been is $1.50 off. So from the $15. But the fact that it has your Xander Scramble demo means that we're good. I do like my roguelikes, but playing it together would be fun, especially if it's like ridiculous. You know what I mean? So Xander, what we'll do now is we will transition because we don't want to try to do a 7-hour podcast here since the damn Steam Machine was crazy. Let's move on down to the homebrew section. We got some stuff we'll talk about with budget, and there's a really cool thing in the aftermarket homebrew, but we're going to skip all that for next episode. Let's talk about a few of the homebrew titles that are on the way. First one I want to talk about is Super Sunny World, NES homebrew. It's also on Steam. And it is a platformer. It's made by and developed by Matt Hewson. Matt Hewson has done a bunch of NES homebrew games, really, really cool ones. And yeah, he's a crazy dude. Makes really good NES games with beautiful artwork. And so, yeah, this one looks wild, dude.
Yeah, I was watching the B-roll and I'm like, hey, this looks fun. Like it just looks good. It looks like a good NES game. And that's, sometimes that's all you got to do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It looks good.
This is the keep it simple is what I love about them. So this does pixel perfect platforming. You have a worlds. The artwork looks awesome. And then the soundtrack just brings you right into the NES theme. There's secrets too, secrets and Easter eggs. So it's just an authentic game. And I'm definitely going to have to get the physical version of it because it just looks badass. I haven't seen where they have the physicals at. I'm kind of looking real quick. It doesn't have any easy links, but there is something called Retro 8-Bit Shop. .com that does have it takes a while to respond, but it does have spots for it. It doesn't really say where he's going to release it though. A lot of people have been releasing on Dalen Games, and the Homebrew Factory, and that's a transition for you, Xander.
Yeah, because this homebrew right here on the NES looks right up my alley. I love giant robots. And, there's something unique about NES style shooters, comparing it to the SNES or Genesis or even arcade. I don't know. There's just something unique about it when you play those kind of shooters, like a vibe with 8-bit.
What's the game called?
It's called
I want to hear you say it. That's why.
Changeable Guardian Exquisite. Yeah.
Oh, is it exquisite or is it? I was calling it estique, but it might be. There's esquisite. Yeah, I don't know. Exquisite sounds awesome. This one is available right now for purchase. They have 83 copies left on the Homebrew Factory. Homebrew Factory was created to help indie NES developers get their games out physically by meeting a minimum. Ran by Broke Studio, who does a lot of NES physicals, and Dalen does the U.S. shipping. Dalen Games does U.S. shipping for Broke Studios. They're from Europe. So it's cool though. I like the idea of the homebrew factory to help almost like a Kickstarter pre-order system on their website to say, hey, if we get this many sales, then we produce the game, because it does require minimums to make it realistically doable. Otherwise, they're not going to stay in business, and we can't support these developers. So the game though is a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up. There's 6 stages. The graphics look high quality, man. Like, this looks like an aftermarket NES game. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Giant bosses, and the pixel art just looks really, really good.
Yeah.
It says that there's an intro and cutscenes unique to the NES version, so there probably is a version available for PC or online.
Oh, it's on Steam.
Actually, it's on Steam. There we go. There's the answer. It's unreleased on Steam as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing this. The developer is Cat Hui Trading. That is the only game that I see from them. Cat Hui. But yeah, the game looks outstanding. Made in Hong Kong, I guess. So, looks freaking badass.
Oh yeah, and speaking of badass, the last little homebrew we're going to talk about, I was like, ooh, it looks like a little Halloween game. Mischief Castle.
And this one's really cool because it's like a little single screen platforming adventure. It does like little flick screens and fun things. Has a focus on puzzles in there too, as you know, we definitely have talked about this episode. Released by KN 56K. It's available on itch.io and Steam. Why it's interesting to me is that because it also has platforming, and I did get this game physically off of they have a website. It goes to an Etsy store, so it's like a 3-4 layer from their itch.io to go to their site, to go to the Etsy store, to go to to be able to get this physically. So I don't know how many copies there are, but the interesting part is the digital version supports 3D Sen, and then we're going to talk about this in the next episode, but it allows you, and it's a Steam program that allows you to play NES games in 3D, Xander. 3D NES game. It looks amazing. It's taking it and turning it into that 2.5D.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. And I bought that on Steam when it first was released. It's been updated, so that's why we're going to talk about 3D Sen and how it supports the homebrew community.
I can't wait to talk about it because I also downloaded it when it first came out, but I haven't touched it since. So
there's the rabbit hole. I'm gonna have to prep you before the episode because there's some other options that were released since I've played it that I was down a rabbit hole yesterday doing. But Mischief Castle looks freaking cool. The fact that when you download it digitally, it supports 3D Sen. I'm gonna have to email the developer and be like, hey, can you send me that 3D Sen thing since I bought it physically? Because I bought a copy physically. I don't know if it's gonna come with maybe it comes with a QR code and I could scan it and get the digital stuff. I don't know. Because there's like a little card that comes with the physical. But the game itself, though, it has really cool pixels, very colorful. Like the main character has like a little like purple outlines, little cutesy outlines. It makes me wonder because it doesn't say on here. It was made in NES Maker, by the way, which NES Maker continuing to pull out this all stops to allow us to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
I wonder if the person working on the graphics is the same person that we talk about multiple times that is always working on similar cutesy graphics, or they're just making it inspired. We'll talk about that next week too, and we talk more 3D Sen and more homebrew stuff. But does have split screen shared co-op.
Oh yeah.
It says it's single player, but then it says shared flip screen co-op. Or split screen. So I wonder how maybe one gets to be the skull and one gets to be the little jack-o'-lantern guy. I think that's how it is. So that would be fun. Hopefully it plays better than Pompous and Celine, where we were both frustrated because we were getting our asses beat. So one little final thing to end the episode on. It's a nice little cherry. This was sent to me by Jesse Glenn. And he said, you have to check this out. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's called Game Genie Jam. And so Nestdev, website where they do Nintendo development, they do these jams every once in a while. And they'll do these games where people are programming new games. Well, apparently the Game Genie, the cartridge itself, can be programmed on.
has its own chip, its own things. You can make your own games. So these games are NES games that would run on a Game Genie cartridge natively in a Nintendo. Like,
that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. And there's only 16 little screen things. So the NES, you have like palettes and stuff, and you can build all these things. There's only 16 full palettes that you can fuck with because it's literally what they use to make the text for the Game Genie. That's it.
Wow.
People made full fucking games. Why this is cool is that with the Game Genie Jam, we'll have to put a link to the actual forum they have. You can download all the ROMs, and they play natively in your emulators and on the Analog Pocket. So the one I wanted to highlight that I played, it's called Genievania, and somebody made in this jam, they made a Metroidvania on the fucking Game Genie.
That's nuts.
It's insane. You literally play as a pixel, and you get another pixel, and now all of a sudden you can like wall jump, or you can dash, or you can like it's wild. So like it literally is a tiny little. I beat it in like 15-20 minutes. Like but you literally are going through the little maze-like level that they created because it's literally just a maze. They were able to use each screen and make multiple mazes within one screen just to create whoever developed it, super fucking creative. Like that to me is amazing. But there are other games on there that I haven't played yet. I put them all into a folder, and I want to mess with them a little bit more. But the Game Genie Jam is freaking crazy to me. I think there's one that's like Outlaw for the Atari 2600 where you're just shooting at each other. There's a bunch of like simple things, and then there's a Metroidvania called Genievania.
Wow.
There's one that basically created like a Space Invaders or Galaga style game where you're like literally have a ship and there's enemies coming at you, and they all have different patterns and stuff, and there's like different like logic to the enemies. Like it's crazy to me, like the talent of the homebrew community and the NES dev community. Like that shit blows my mind. That's why I wanted to end on that, man. That is so fucking cool. Genievania, and that's a game that I added to my completed games list.
Nice. Well, speaking completion. This is going to complete another episode, but we can't leave without giving a big shout and a huge thanks to our Patreon executive producers. And again, Patreon's free to join. It's one of the best spots to know what Jeff's doing, because he's doing a bunch of stuff. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. And be sure, if you really enjoyed this podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Spotify, all that stuff. Give us some love. It helps the stuff grow, because I really feel like with the Steam box or Steam, whatever it's being called, some people are calling it the Gabe Cube. Steam bag.
Steam machines there.
Well, the Steam machine, I feel like, I feel like a lot of people are going to be wondering what kind of games to play. And so I think that's going to really help the show. But again,
and we don't like to shill at the beginning of the episodes, because I'll listen to a podcast and they're like, oh, give us a like and a super like and give us a super comment and all the things, and it's like, cool guys, like we're gonna do this podcast regardless. The Patreon allows you to get cool physical stuff and just keep up with the insanity, because I'm doing like 100 things. Xander, Mr. released a black metal song last fucking week, is doing a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
That black metal stuff was like wild. Your brain is like out there. I love it.
Yeah. If you go on the Spotify, like you put in Xander Scolian on Spotify and like hear the music I put out, like I don't have a set genre. I just have like projects where I'm like, I want to do an 80s ballad and I'm going to hire a female singer. And then like later I'm like, I'm going to do a black metal song and just make it really spooky. But so yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is that the Patreon allows you to keep track of all the shit that I've got going on. And whenever Xander does something crazy, I think I fucked up my video last week, because I do, when I'm walking the dog, I'll do like a recording. I think I had it in 4K, which is what I've done before when I had to do like documentaries and shit. I get to record in 4K. So I think it defaulted to that, and I don't think it uploaded. Like, so like, oh, here's my weekly thing. Like if I look on Patreon, I uploaded it, but I don't think it posted, because I usually get an email like says you've posted, and I never got one. And so I think also episode 55 didn't get posted. So I'm about to post 55 today and then 56 once we finish.
But yeah, so I'd like to thank, and we'd like to thank our executive producers. The executive producers allowed to get a badass, one of a kind, for you wooden book cover. I'm only making them for Patreons, and so it's going to be a really cool thing to have. Just really neat stuff is what we're doing. I'm a hipster artist, so like I'm working on paintings right now for commissions from the Sega CD book that I had on Kickstarter. That's what I'm working on right now. Gotta work on, was it Earthworm Jim? I can't belch it.
Yeah.
Jim.
But yeah, so big shout out to Akaroth. Also, David Isherwood.
Then Lunchbox, the disgruntled gamer who provided us a badass code for the community game. And Jesse Glenn, who brought the damn Game Genie Gem to my attention. He's always sending cool shit.
And some more OG supporters like Jacob Henrichardson.
And Brian Pittman, load guys, which I probably said wrong. But yeah, I appreciate the support on that, and you get cool stuff, and it's a fun thing. You can join for free though; you don't have to pay any money. There is a digital tier that allows you to get all the digital copies of all of my books, and I've been adding books every once in a while. Like every few months, I'll add something. If you have a request for something in your digital tier, hit me up. But the executive producers, we give a shout out to, and we appreciate you.
Indeed. As always, guys, I want to thank you for listening. As always, happy gaming and support indie.
Black metal.